For most Americans, the number 16 is fun and happy, positive, fresh, exciting. Girls and guys love the number because often with it comes a sweet set of relationship possibilities. But over on the East Coast, in Maryland, Sweet 16 isn't very sweet at all. It's as sour as the consequences of the apple in the garden, as rotten as the sickest breakup you ever saw, as putrid as the bloody refuse from women's problems. You'll find 16's pretty sour, actually, because Maryland's got a foul relationship with her 16 abortion clinics. What does a young lady discover when she searches abortion in Maryland? 16 clinics. From Baltimore to Silver Spring, Metro D.C. to Sweetland, Hagerstown to Berwyn Heights. Of these 16 clinics, 2 are licensed as ambulatory surgical centers, 2 are unlicensed and illegally operating, and the other 12, well, they are licensed as surgical abortion facilities. That's not so bad, right? Wrong. Let's say your daughter calls one of these clinics to schedule an abortion. She's got a positive pregnancy test, is scared, and thinks maybe these are people who can help her out. Who's on the other side of the phone? Of the 2 licensed ambulatory surgical centers, one, Gynemed, was cited with severe deficiencies and had no hospital admitting privileges. And the other, Femicare, has been sued 9 times for malpractice, and the doctor lost his license twice for misconduct. Of the 2 unlicensed clinics, one, Women's Healthcare, has at least 6 malpractice claims, and the other, Integrated OB-GYN, has a doctor doing surgical abortions in violation of his probation after losing his license for unprofessional conduct, sexual boundary violations with patients, botched abortions, and shoddy record keeping. Not to mention, they're both illegal and have no accountability if a woman dies or is injured. What about the other 12? They're good, right? Deficiencies and violations found when inspected. Annapolis Planned Parenthood, Baltimore Planned Parenthood, Germantown Reproductive Health Services with Leroy Carhart, Hagerstown Reproductive Health Services, Hillcrest Clinic of Baltimore, Metropolitan Family Planning in Berwyn Heights, Metropolitan Family Planning in Sweetland, Metro D.C. Planned Parenthood, Potomac Family Planning Center, Prince George's Reproductive Health Services, Silver Spring Family Planning, Whole Woman's Health of Baltimore. All clinics didn't check out. In fact, they were all cited with severe violations when inspected. But here's the real kicker. Maryland's Office of Health Care Quality licensed them anyway. Yes, you heard that right. Patricia Ney and Barbara Fagan, leaders of the Maryland Office of Health Care Quality, or OHCQ, personally signed letters to the clinics with the deficiency violations, but issued them licenses anyway. Then, to add insult to injury, they kept them operating without ever verifying that the deficiencies were corrected. Most clinics had the same problems 2 years later. Some clinics had worsened conditions, and others had new or different problems. Maybe you're thinking, it must have been minor stuff. Nothing of the sort. We are talking cross-contaminating patients here, for not washing hands or using gloves in surgery, for not changing covers on the surgery tables, for cleaning the toilet and returning to medical work without washing hands or donning gloves. We're talking mislabeling medications, or not labeling them at all, for administering expired meds, even ones expired as far back as 1987, to patients currently, for using expired needles, single-dose medication vials on on more than one patient, for not properly sterilizing instruments or mixing dirty instruments with clean ones and then using them on patients, for administering anesthesia without training, for not having basic emergency supplies like an airway suction machine or defibrillator if a woman has problems, for not having proper certification for physicians on staff, for having several and sometimes all of the medical staff not trained or certified in basic life support, for not being tested for infectious diseases that can spread to patients like TB or Hep B and C, for demonstrating incompetence on the job, for violating patient privacy rights, for violating HIPAA by storing or disposing patient records where anyone could or did access their names and contact information, for failing to monitor patients in recovery and before discharge, for employing medical staff with expired licenses or no licenses at all, and for a host of other problems. Gross. When a 16-year-old girl goes out with a really bad boy, everyone tries to protect her and stop the relationship, to keep her from a foul guy who'll use and defile her. What a sour story. Yet, when it comes to protecting our daughters and friends from filth, infection, cross-contamination, decay, and incompetence, Patricia Fay and Barbara Fagan at the Maryland OHCQ are cozy bedfellows with 16 clinics. Licenses are only words, darling. Look at the violations and the profligate relationships between these abortion clinics and the Maryland OHCQ and see what a creeper cheater tried to pull over on you. Little, innocent, sweet 16? Sounds pretty sour to me.